Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have 5 years after the previous video in our Southampton rebuild. This is our 27th episode. We've gone for another 5 years, so this is 10 years since our live play. Yes, I do simulate the matches, and I'm now the director of football. It's been 10 years. Yes, it does say I'm manager, and yes, Ruben Sellers does manage when I go on a holiday. Today, I'm going to show you how far I've brought this team, the transfers I've made, the sales I have made, the league tables, the competition standing. Um, One that I particularly was going to show you all from last time was Stanislas Kuti, a player I was going to buy in, um, to show you how and where that's gone from there. First things first, we will go to the transfer history. Always a good place to start. We will go back. I believe I'm just going to have a little look here. So I think here was where we need to be starting from. So, as you can see, this season here, 2033 to 34, we only spent £39 million. If you want to cheat, you can have a look up here and see how my spending's been. In this particular season here, I think you can see here uh, the money I've spent. So, I've got Luis Carlos, James Nolan, the free on transfer, Alessandro Silvestri and Josh Duffy. All of these players that I'm bringing in, unless I say so, they're just five-star potential players. Um, if I go backwards, you might be able to see some players I brought in. This was one guy I did buy in afterwards. It was Mehmet Gilmaz. I got him for a fairly cheap £33.5 million on a relegation release clause. Um, don't think I actually sold anyone else. I didn't. But on the sales here, we sold Edu, someone we never really used, 35 million. Time to upgrade at the back. Antonio Silva to Tottenham, £40 million. And if you look here, we made money, £15 million. He's now actually pretty worthless, and Wolves are interested in him. So Antonio Silva, weird to see him at 34. Sergio Montel, £52 million to Hertha Berlin. This also goes along to show you he's now worth 285 in all fairness to him. And he looks a fairly solid addition from him. He might have been one that I sort of let slip away, maybe. But we bought him for £5.5 million and we nearly made 10 times our money. So we can't really be knocking making that sort of money. Other players that we never really used, Julian Campagna, um, Tottenham, Jonathan for an overall £50 million. Got some loans in now. Antonio Rui, we brought him in at holding mid. Didn't really do too much for us, but we made money on him. We sold him £70 million to PSG, and that's where we are there. The following season, we actually spent more than we brought in this time round. We brought in Tom, a Brazilian centre half. We also brought in Datro Fofana on a free transfer, um, which, from my perspective, it was a case of just boosting up and around the top. The guy we spoke about last time, Stanislas Kuti. Now, you saw me putting an offer for him for £20.5 million. Um, there's this thing, there's like a glitch on this game where if you're buying a player that's on loan to another team, sometimes it sort of kicks that transfer out. Anyway, it did kick that transfer out, and we ended up signing for £5 million cheaper. I will show you more about him very, very shortly. Kim Jutsenez, oh, actually, Jutsensen, I can't pronounce it. Forgive me. 17.25 million from PSG. Patrice Vigarou, £20 million. Cesar Vitorino, I'm having a nightmare with names today. Uh, Total package of £30 million. Campuzano, £7 million. Giannis Christovsky, £5.5 million. Mikhail Doskalek, £5.5 million. Raul Vidal, 8.25 million. Sergio, 10 million. Jan Kluster, 11 million. On the outs, Eric Rosas never really lived up to anything. He went on a free transfer. Brian DeMarco is worth a few quid now, I think you'll find. No, he's not really. Okay, that surprises me. Yet again, another player, 12.25 million, sold 80. Played 2 seasons for us. You've got to get these 5-star potential players in, loan them out, let them do their thing, then sell them or keep hold of them. Not sure there's much else in the respect of selling players this season, if I'm honest. No, that is it. It's all loan deals, which you would fully expect from some of the youngsters that I've brought in. Following season, 178, but look at the money we've made here. Incredible amount. So we brought in Yorick Berger, £12.5 million. Javier Pulido, £13.5 million. Umar 12.5. Ramos, 10 million. Conceição, 25. De La Fuente, 13.5. Finn Mayer, you can always tell when I bought a player to come in for the first team because obviously they are considerably more money. Um, so basically, I haven't paid all the money for him at the moment, and we're talking another couple of years after this. Miguel Gomez, 20.5. Logan Lefera, 10.75. Now, Tino Livramento, great servant to the club, wasn't playing. His star ratings were going down. It was time to let him go. We got £22 million for him, sold him to Liverpool. Justin Grosjean, 42 million. And this is where we're talking about where you can make some money. So we brought Grosjean for 5.25 million, sold for 42. We could also do the same with Aaron Cartwright. Now I know we brought him from look at that price tag, by the way, and Manchester United are keen on him. I'm not surprised. We brought him from Coventry for under 10 million, I believe. No, a bit more than that, 17 million, but we made more than double our money. In all fairness, he has been scoring goals in the Bundesliga as well. Franco Guriano, £50 million sale, £12 million sold for 50. And this is how you keep your finances up, by investing in these youngsters. Once you've got your team sorted out, this is highly recommend. I recommend it to anyone to be doing it. In all fairness, I don't think you can't not. Fabio Antonucci, lost a bit of money on him. He was very unhappy. He wasn't getting in the side as much. We decided to let him go, which I think was the right call. Still lots more loans here. Dacho Fofana, £12 million. Not bad for a player that we got for free the season before. Roberto Usai, £51 million to Bayern Munich. Florian Wirtz, another superb player for us, just going on the out. We got £10 million for him as he went to Fulham. A few more loan deals. End of the season, we sold Martin Berda to Wolverhampton Wanderers for a total of £46.5 million, including add-ons. Josko Gvardiol. Um, his time was up, unfortunately. He's been a great servant. He's played everywhere across the back line, bar right back. Um, Younger, better defenders were at the club. Time to let him go. The next season, look at this money here. Pretty ridiculous, in all fairness, to be spending this amount of money. Even Bill Brick, he was a bit of a risk this transfer. It hasn't paid off so far. 60 million from Bayern. Diogo Ramos, 20.5 from Benfica. Rafael, 13.25. Not 100% sure what team that is. Apong from Fulham, 40 million. Julian Arias from Porto, 14 million. Palini from Roma, 14 million. Hamza Emanuele from Dortmund, £115 million. Another big option. This is another big risk here. He's been okay so far. He's been out on loan. But Kingsley Ogbu from Tottenham for 70 million. Igor Kozina from Osijek for £4 million. Paulo from Fulham for £38 million. Quarantine Cheesy, 18 million pounds. I think he could end up being a complete waste of money. On the outs, Camavinga to Barcelona. Florian Mayer came in and basically took his place, to be completely honest. Kim Justine Tenson, however you pronounce his name, on the outs to Inter. Oscar, you saw me buy him not long ago. I think it was £10 million. £9.5 million, £50 million in profit. Love it when it goes right. More loans as always. Mikhail Doskalek didn't work out. £19 million, just under 20. This was a big one for us. This is where we got Emanuele in. Lee, our left-sided Brazilian maestro, always confuses me with these Brazilians. Not a lot of international caps there. 16 million quid. We got him loaned out for a few years. Came for us for a couple of years. And he done really, really well. Assisted, scored some goals. Always a good average rating. But when you're offered this type of money, you know, he cost £150 million. And that's exactly what we got for him. And we were over the moon with making that sort of money. And we replaced him with Hamza Emanuele, as you can see. Anything else? Mamadou Sarr. Now, this is an interesting one. We purchased Mamadou Sarr from Real Madrid. This is a Paul Pogba situation. £19 million. He played literally half a season for us. Didn't do anything. Look, 3 starts, 13 subs. So 75 million for a backup player for us. It's phenomenal. Business is good. Julian Duranville, 50 million to PSG. We paid over 100 for him. He has been fantastic. He's done really, really well for us. But unfortunately, better younger players were there and he wasn't getting any game time. Season that's just gone by, we made a few quid again, as you can see. It seems to be the norm at the moment. So on the ins we got, and I have been buying slightly more expensive young talent. Usman Keita, Francis Cellier, Lamine Cisse, Sebastian Acosta, Javi Rubio, Fernando Pavoni, Frolentsek, Mikel Vitali, and Mario Zaza. These two have only just come in. On the outs, Isaac, probably a bad sell. This one for me. He's been very, very good for PSG. He won't get in the side. Romeo Lavia. It was time to say goodbye to Romeo. He was the last standing player from the original Southampton team, which now would be 16 years ago, and he only left a year ago. fantastic servant. Yes, he went out on loan a lot, as you can see here. £12.5 million. Obviously, it was a legacy buy. He played the first 3 seasons for us. Didn't really stand out. Gave him 3 loans. Got the majority of our money back with Tottenham there. And then since then, since the 28-29 season, been ever present. £20 million. We actually made money on a man there, so we can't complain overall there. David Diaz, a right back who weren't getting any football. He went on to Bayern. This was quite another important one here. Christian Vasquez. Um, Yet again, another player, as you can see here, 23 and 7 on the appearances, 24 and 6. He was never my first choice starting centre half, and Real Madrid decided to bust in, and I think they put in like a £90 million offer, and I managed to get him to up it to around 130, which was absolutely phenomenal because I think he was my third, probably my fourth choice centre half for that money. So we were laughing in that respect. Other transfers, Campuzano, can't remember him ever playing for me. As you can see, £7 million from Getafe, never played. 3 loans off to Barcelona. Easy way of making money, this. You ever want to buy a top player? Josh Duffy. Now, this is one of the ones that went horribly wrong for me. It can go wrong, and this is a story where it can go wrong. £17 million from Celtic, 5-star potential. 3 loans for him, and his report went way down quick. You can see here, 3-star was never going to do anything for us. Just happens sometimes. It's just one of those things. And you're heading into January and the end of the season. This guy was a bit of a troublemaker, to be honest, Danielovic. £25 million from Freiburg. He played a little bit, obviously, under Ruben Selles over the last couple of seasons, but he's been a nightmare. His reports dropped down. Ilyetiyad in Saudi Arabia, like they are now, they will buy anyone. And the other player that we lost money on, and he done well to be a servant for us. He gave us, 6 good seasons there. Paid a lot of money for him, and we got a fair bit back for him, so we can't knock it. But that was that's fine now. As you go to our recruitment, as you look, we have like some super money available still to be doing stuff like this. I'll take you into the player search and just see if there's anyone you may have seen in the last video. This Jackson John, he was, I think, over in Holland. He was 2-star, 5-star potential. He is very good, don't get me wrong. I just want to see if there's anyone here on my bit. As you can see, I've got a lot. Look at this guy, right? Ukrainian international, 16-year-old on a youth contract at Dynamo Kiev. He's played first team football, and well, you know who's already made this bid, don't you? Yeah, it's us. We're getting him on so compensation we put out. So keep an eye on this one because I will do another video. It most definitely won't be next week. I won't have time to do it, but at some point on a random Monday in the future, there will definitely be another one. Will it be 5 years? Will it be 10 years? We'll see. It all depends on how much time I get to myself. But this is the one to look out for. Antiliov Kozlovsky. He's the one that I'm after. Not sure there's anyone else I'm particularly keen on looking at getting. We've got the money to do it, but we won't look there. So the next thing I'm going to do is, obviously, I showed you guys about Stanislas Kuti. Let me show you him now. He's very good, and as you can see, he's playing for us on a full-time basis. He's a 4.5-star winger, and if you ever look at his reports, he is still at 5 stars. He's world class, and he could improved slightly. You have a look, he's on 110 grand. He's got a couple of years left on his contract. We will be most certainly offering him a new contract. He's a fringe. He's a squad player. He's a hot prospect, but he's a fringe player there. But let's have a look here from when we bought him. So last time you'd have seen him, you'd have seen here. He was on loan. Um, we couldn't get him straight away. We purchased him, but we couldn't get him till the following season. He came in 15 million. Now he had 3 loans. He was back at Lons. He performed well. He went to Everton. He performed well. He went to Benfica and he was fantastic. And since that season, he's come back to us. And 15 million. I was showing you 20 and a half. I got him for 15, and he's now worth just under £100 million. And probably if someone came in for him, I'd probably be looking for over 100 for him. So he has been a quality buy. My squad right now. Okay, so we showed you a bit of Esteban Ramirez last time. 26-year-old goalkeeper, Argentinian. He'd only had 1 season with us. You can now see here. This is what you saw 5 years on, and he has barely conceded many goals. Look at the clean sheets since then, 17 to 19 per season, and he cost me £5 million. Phenomenal. Chavez is my backup goalkeeper. Now this is a big thing here, as you can see. Kristofsky still can get up to 5 stars, but I have 3 4-star right backs. Luciano cost me a fair whack from Roma. He's been ever present, very, very good. But one of these may have to leave the club. When it comes to left back, this is the reason why Gavardio was sold. He was much better, younger, fitter. He was the better fit for the team. He's been really good. Where my strength in my side is right now, this here. So you look here, Damian Puglisi and Douglas Fontoura, 5-star wherever you put him. And this guy, 20 million and worth every penny of it. Loans to Villarreal, PSG, Manchester United. And the last 6 seasons he has been ever present for us. Easily the best centre half in the game. And when you pair him up with this fella, who I think we bought him from around 70 million. Just under, he has had 8 incredible seasons with us. Absolutely incredible. That centre back partnership is phenomenal. Even if you look here at Cesar Vittorino, he can play left back as well, which is pretty key for us. £29 million from Gremio. He had 4 good loan spells there by the look of things. He's vital. But then when we got players like Tom, who's at loan at Newcastle, I believe, he's had some cracking loans, but he's ready to come back. And then we've got someone like Ramos, holding mid. Alvaro, Boyson, and Maya are my main men, but also Mema Gilmez can sit in there as well. When it comes to my attacking 4, like, you've got a lot of options here. Gilvan, still one of the best players in the world. Stats for days. Very, very good. Great purchase, worth every penny. Gilmez has been good. He is 4.5 stars. Since we got him from Mainz, he's been very, very consistent. Very, very good. Kuti we've already shown you. Cyprian Flip, we gave him a few loans. He's pretty mental, this guy, to be fair. 39 in 35 there. He's had 4 seasons with us. He scored a lot of goals. Cost us a fair whack from what I remember as a relegation release clause as well. Emanuele only been with us for a season and a half, but he can play in any of them sort of wide two or up top. In respect of him, not great last season. Didn't play purely because he was brought in January, but this season is shown. My main man, obviously, this is your boy here, and I fully recommend to anyone, dependent what database you use, this is the one that you sign, and I will show you why. He's 31 now. Endrick is 31. Can you believe that? But just look at this, right? So obviously you take away what are you looking at here? 11, 22 goals. So he has scored 391 league goals for Southampton, and that is in what 25, 64, 67. What? So 400, say 440, 450, something like that. What a buy this bloke's been. I was showing from the Football Manager football show, having a chat with Ken Maguire about this guy, and I showed him some of his stats. And let's be completely honest, it's pretty crazy. He has been an absolute gem. Onto the competitions. So you might have just seen a little bit there. I will go back. Oh, I've completely butchered that. I need to go here and I need to go back. So this is where we finished up. I'm going to take you through here now. Champions, 7 points. Champions, 20 points. Champions, 24 points. Champions, 5 points. Champions, 18 points. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 years straight. Phenomenal. To be completely honest, we 100% have the best team in the country, without a shadow of a doubt. Just to show you here how the depth goes, and if you just look at that front four, like, just look at it, like, no matter which one of the three you pick, they're 4.5 stars. It's absolutely phenomenal. When you go back in here and you sit there and go, oh, you've got 5 players there, 4 stars or better playing holding mid. Brilliant. Look at the back. You know, probably left back might be my weakest spot. Goalkeeper Chavez has been our backup goalkeeper for years. Ramirez is staying there no matter what happens. It's absolutely phenomenal, to be completely honest. If I take you to, I'm going to try and get this right. Okay. So you would have seen us finishing here. So let's take you through season by season. So the first season back, Community Shield winners, UEFA Champions League runners-up, Premier League Division champions, FA Cup winner, Carabao Cup winner. Had we won the Champions League, we'd have done a 5p. Phenomenal season there. 2035, very, very nearly similar. Community Shield winners, UEFA Champions League runners-up, FA Cup runners-up, Premier League Division champions, Carabao Cup winners. Bit of a theme going on here. 2036, bit poorer this time round, but Community Shield winner, Premier Division champion, Carabao Cup winner. Champions League obviously didn't go that well, neither did the FA Cup. 2037 Community Shield winner, World Club Championship winner, which is always a lovely one to have. English Premier Division champions, Carabao Cup runner-up. And our most recent season, Premier Division champions, English FA Cup winners. So just to show you in regards to here. So if I went to history, I believe, I might be a little bit wrong here. Past winners. So as you can see here, you know, we have won 6 in a row, but we've also won 7 out of the last 8. And we have been, you know, if you even look down here, we've got third a couple of times in here. This basically is our trophy. Man United are playing second fiddle here. I don't want to go too mad. FA Cup. So since I have been in control of the side, we have 4 wins and we have come runners up twice. Not bad. Carabao Cup. This one would be nice to look at. So yeah, again, it's 4 wins and 2 runners up. 3 years on the bounce. We were there though, which was a really, really good achievement in all fairness. I have just gotten too far, unfortunately. Let me go back to where I was at. But when it comes to this has eluded us a little bit. We have won it twice, which is nice, but runners up 4 times. Now the worst part about that stat is we made 6 finals in a row, which is phenomenal. But we haven't been in that final 3 years in a row. So we need to do better there. But on a whole overall scale, when you look at the whole grand scheme of things, we're talking about a Southampton Football Club here. Here you go, 5 out of the last 6, well, 6 out of the last 7, realistically. I've turned Southampton into something pretty special, to be fair. It's been really, really, really good. I've really enjoyed this save, that is for certain. We'll have a look at the World Club Championships. We've had 4 since start of the save. Madrid twice, PSG, and us. And funny to see the World Club Championship was in England this time round. Always been in sort of some countries out, way out, when Liverpool won it in Qatar recently. Yeah, you just have to remember that this is Southampton, and whilst anything is possible, you know, you can take a lot lower clubs and you can do a lot better. For me, this was a massive challenge with Southampton. It's one that Southampton have always had a bit of an affection as a club for me. I lived in Southampton 25 years ago. Um, really, really loved the place. Had trials there as a kid. Um, love the club. To see where they're at now is a shame. So that's part of why I wanted to do this. Has the experiment worked? It's been fantastic. I'm going to carry it on. It's been one of my favourite saves ever. With some of the players that I'm bringing in and producing, I'll hope to continue that on. So I don't know when the next video for this will be. I don't know whether it will be 5 years later. I don't know whether it will be 10 years later. But I will definitely get it in there for you. The other thing I just wanted to leave you on that I did forget to do is I wanted to show you our best 11. Ramirez, no surprise, in goal, 369 appearances, 0 goals. Livramento at right back, 608 appearances, 4 goals. At left back, we've got Paul Wanner. Funny to see him there, but um, 307 appearances and 57 goals. Two centre halves, Josko Gvardiol, 557 appearances and 15 goals. Damiano Puglisi, 434 appearances, 22 goals. Two holding players, Zakarian, who I never really ever played there, 545 appearances, 125 goals. Romeo Lavia, 481 appearances, 15 goals. Our front four, Endrick, 714 appearances, 640 goals. That's phenomenal, by the way. Duranville on the left, 337 appearances, 88 goals. Gilvan behind the striker, 531 appearances, 208 goals. Cyprian Philip, and this is just almost as impressive as Endrick, 199 goals in 208 appearances on the bench, and I won't go into stats. Slonina, Antonio Silva, Douglas Fontoura, Tellers Magno, Florian Wirtz, Eduardo Camavinga, and it seems like a long time ago since I've said his name, but João Pedro. That is our Southampton side. That has been our Southampton save. See you at some point with Southampton. When, I don't know, but keep your eye out and we'll put it out soon. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves and we'll see you soon. Bye now.